All right, today we are going to be working on the back of your notes from 9.1, so this is still Module 9, Lesson 1, and we're going to be talking about angle pairs and two-step equations. Okay, so let's look here at example 1. We're going to have angle EHF and angle FHG are supplementary angles, so they add up to 180 degrees. I should have had a degree sign right there. Okay, so what the question's asking me is to find the measure of angle EHF. All right, so I know that this angle and this angle have to add up to 180, so I need to write an equation. My equation is going to be 2x plus 48 equals 180 degrees. Okay, well, in our last module we solved for x, so we're going to go ahead and solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 48. 2x equals 132. My next step, since I have 2 times x here, is going to be divide by 2. So x is going to equal, that's a 6 and a 6, 66 degrees. Now, that's not my answer, because if you look over here, 1, this is an obtuse angle, so I know it has to be more than 90. And the reason why is because I actually have 2 times x. So 2 times x, right? And so 2 times x is 66. So that would equal 12, carrier 1, 132 degrees. So I would say the measure of angle EHF is 132 degrees. Okay, let's look at our next example. Now the only difference with this is angle WXZ and ZXY are complementary. So that means they equal, I shouldn't say equal, they add up to 90 degrees. All right, so I know I'm going to have to combine 35 and 4x plus 7, and that should equal 90. So 35 plus parentheses 4x plus 7 equals 90 degrees. And it's important, if they have this in parentheses, we're going to leave it in parentheses. We're going to take the measure of WXZ, we're going to add it to the measure of angle ZXY. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do here is combine, well, there's actually a couple different ways you can do this. You could go ahead and combine your like terms. Since this is all addition, you do it all at the same time. So 35 plus 7 is 42 plus 4x equals 90. Okay, now these are my like terms. They don't have any variables attached, so I'm going to subtract 42. 4x equals, that's an 8 and a 4. So that should be 48. So when I solve for x, divide both sides by 4, x equals 12 degrees. Now again, that's not my answer. I have to go back and plug in my 12 for x. So I have 4x plus 7. Well, that's going to be 4 times 12 plus 7. And you can't forget about PEMDAS. So what am I going to do here? I'm going to multiply first. So that's going to be 48 plus 7. And 48 plus 7 equals 55 degrees. So the measure of angle ZXY equals 55 degrees. And I just realized that. Right here, this actually should say ZXY. That was my fault on the typo. I didn't even catch it here. I was just looking up here. So they wanted to find the measure of this angle right here. ZXY. That should actually say ZXY. So go ahead and correct that on your notes. I apologize for that mistake. And that's going to be my 55 degrees. All right, number 8 is your turn. So I want you to find the measure of angle GJ You're going to find the measure of this angle right here. Okay, so go ahead and press pause on your video and try to find the measure of that angle. All right, let's take a look here. These two angles are supplementary. They form a straight line, so they're going to have to add up to 180 degrees. So I know that 3x plus 54 equals 180. Well, the first thing I do when I'm solving equations, combine my like terms, subtract 54. So I have 3x equals 180 minus 54 is 126. Divide both sides by 3. X equals, that goes in 4 times and that goes in 2 times, 42 degrees. Well, I have to find what 3x is. So 3 times 42 equals 126 degrees. And it makes sense because it's an obtuse angle, so I know my answer better be more than 90. So the measure of angle JML equals 126 degrees. That's what you should have gotten. Hopefully you got that right. All right, now example 3 is finding the angle measures in triangles. The sum of all angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. So we've got to first find the value of x, and then we want to find the measures of angle A and angle B. We're going to plug in what we get for x. So the first thing I know is that all 3 of these angle measures have to add up to 180. So I'm going to take x plus 80 plus 3x, and the total has to equal 180 degrees. So I can first combine my like terms on this side. I have 1x and 3x. That makes, oops, not 3. That makes 4x plus 80 equals 180. Now again, I want to combine my like terms, so I'm going to subtract 80. 4x equals 100. Divide by 4, divide by 4. X equals 25 degrees. So in this question, all they're asking me is for x, so I found x equals 25. Now I need to plug it back in. So the measure of angle A equals 25 degrees because it's just x. The measure of angle B equals 3 times 25, which is 75 degrees. So these are my angle measures. All right, that's all the notes that you have tonight, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.